Shalom.
Shalom.
This is
all praises to the Most High.
Waco Israel Ministries. We do thank and praise Ahayah, bahashem, Yashayah, Barak, another opportunity in front of our subscribers and all our viewers. Another timely lesson. We had just been able to make some pamphlets.
We've got them out. We're making them as the Most High allows us to have the money to make them, and we're going to get them out. We have a place to come together on a Sunday now. Although we don't really like, being together in a place Sunday. You're not supposed to worship on Sunday, but it's more of a teaching ministry, and it's a Sabbath. So it's a Shabbat teaching of the Bible, of the true teaching of the Bible.
So I want to show you all. So we're going to talk about the awakening. We're going to show some videos, as always. I want to show you all something here. Show you all something before we go into our video.
Don't do that on air. Go put some on your arm, JJ. Okay. I hope you had a blessed day in the truth. When you walk in truth in this earth, it beats any kind of having to have money, fame, personality, prosper, anything. Anything you can name cannot beat truth. When you walk in truth, then you can walk in love. Make it big so we can show them what we have now, Josh.
This is a good website too, everybody. Always check out
the 12 tribes of Israel.
We wanted to make sure we put this in
and you've heard plenty of our messages
videos,
right, Josh,
too.
On the tribes, so you know already. If you've been listening to us for any amount of time, any length of time, you know who the tribes are now, you know where they are, and you know there's a great awakening.
So again, we have Reuben, right? The Seminole.
Start on the top.
The Seminole Indians.
On the top.
We have
Gad.
We have Simeon. The Dominican Republic. The indigenous Dominican. Then we have Levi, the Haitians.
Okay.
Judah, the so-called Negroes. Then we have Zebulun, Genesis 49, who are the Panamanians through Colombia. Then we have Issachar, the Mexicans. Then we have Gad, the Native American Indians. Then we have
Naphtali,
the Hawaiians and Samoans.
Okay.
Asher, Brazil through Venezuela.
Manasseh.
Ephraim and Manasseh, who are the Cubans and the so-called Puerto Ricans.
That's right.
And we have Jamaica, or what they call Jamaicans, who are the tribe of Benjamin. That is your 12 tribes according to Deuteronomy 33 and Genesis chapter 49. again, everybody. Always check out this website, GOCC. It's a very good site to look for information and learn from. I'll let you all look at that. One more time. I'll just name them off one more time. You have Reuben, the Seminole Indians and the Aboriginals of Australia. You have Simeon, the Dominicans, Levi, the Haitians. You have
Dominican Republic.
You have Judah, Negroes. It's a.
You said that already.
I'm just renaming them all.
Okay.
Going through them one more time so everyone can get them.
Right.
Then you have
Zebulon.
Zebulon,
Which
Panamanian, so-called Panamanians and so-called Colombians. Issachar, the so-called Mexicans. Gad, the so-called Native American Indians. You have then you have Naphtali, the Hawaiians and Samoans. Ashur, the indigenous Brazilians and Venezuelans. Then you have Manasseh, Ephraim, the Cubans, the Puerto Ricans, which are the children of Joseph, Ephraim and Manasseh. Then you have the last tribe, which are the Jamaicans, who are so-called Jamaicans in this world.
Benjamin.
But
the Apostle Paul.
But they are the tribe of Benjamin.
That's right.
So again, make sure you print these out. Go to this website, make copies, print out, and pass these around, because this is vital information. As well as, I just want to show everybody some.
And I want to announce something too, Josh, while you're doing that. All right. You want me to wait a second? We're at 5291 Orange Park North. Every Sunday at 12 o'clock, we have a teaching ministry for 2 hours. So who's ever local that's listening to us, if you don't have a true place to be taught the word of the Most High, and stop using all those other names like Jesus and Lord and all this, and we can show you.
I wanted to add this in.
Wait a minute.
Go on.
That you're welcome every Sunday, 12 o'clock for 2 hours. So please come, bring some friends, and you're going to be totally blessed to hear truth. Thank you. Go ahead, Josh.
No, that's the wrong one. I just wanted to add something else into so everyone would have it in our lesson.
Thank you.
Always have your sword and information on.
Pagans are the reason for the season. I like that. That's good. That's exactly right. Says a rainbow. Look at that, Josh.
Always put that in there.
Yeah.
We have that one too. Just wanted to make sure I put this one in the. What we got?
It's up there. No, on the left, top left. Right there.
I think these are the most important ones to have. Let me. Make. This is Deuteronomy 28. See, the slave trade, breaking everything down right here. Yokes of iron, slave ship. Just make it the front bigger so you all can see it. So this information is out there. We taught this, but I just wanted to show you all the flyer so you can print it out. Go to their website, print it out, and so you can pass it around when you evangelize and try to reach the children of Israel with the truth, right?
Mm-hmm.
And let me show you the back. Let me show you the back. There it is. Yokes of iron, Deuteronomy 28:48. Scriptures that go along with it. And there you go. So with that all, I just wanted to add, and I'll add that in the future lessons so you all can have the information, know where to go, make these flyers, and when you're out on the streets, pass them around. Spread the truth while we still have time, and while we still can. While we still can.
While we still have the time, is right, because the night is coming and no man's going to be able to work.
Hold on, Dad. I'll be right back. I'm just going over here.
Yeah, go ahead, Josh. I'd like to say a few things tonight. We are very concerned about the teachings in religion that have kept our brothers bound for 400 and what is it? How many years now, Tony? In Christianity?
400.
400 years.
400 years, our brothers, the Negroes, and the Hispanics have been bound in Christian religion. So that's why we're on. We're trying to help you see the truth, who you really are, and to come out of these religious churches, these pagan churches.
The awakening of Israel. Let's go to 1 John. About 1 John 3:4.
Okay.
We'll start with that. Spiritually awake. You got to understand what sin is.
Mm-hmm.
What is sin according to the Bible?
Mm-hmm.
One of the scriptures we used to go to a lot. We haven't gone to it a while, but it's always in our memory.
That's right.
1 John 3:4.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
1 John, the epistle, 3:4.
Uh-huh.
Whosoever committed sin.
Mm-hmm.
Mary, can you close the door? Whosoever committed sin transgresseth also the law.
So
Tony, close your door.
if you
For sin is the transgression of the law.
it don't close all the way.
It does. Tony still closes.
It doesn't really close all the way.
How come? It did before. It's closed. Okay.
So
I'll
anyway,
work on it, Tony. All right, do it
so
again.
for
Whosoever committed sin
uh-huh.
transgresseth also the law. Stop there.
So if you break a law, a man-made law, usually you'll be punished for it, like stealing. You'll go to jail or traffic. What they call trafficking illegal narcotics. You'll go to prison.
Uh-huh. That's the law.
But there's a higher law than that.
Much higher law.
That we have to be aware of.
That's right. Awesome, Josh. Go ahead. You see, there are people who are religious. They're so worried about the popo following them to breaking the law, but they'll go to these pagan churches on Sunday and break his laws. A high law.
Uh-huh. So, what is sin? It is the what? For sin is
the transgression of the law.
So, sin is the transgression of the law. So we know that the law is not done away with, or that verse would make no sense.
That's right.
And that's what talking about the law under Christ, which is the 10 Commandments, the dietary law, the feast days, and of course, homosexuality, BCA, all that still stands. That's why all those things are inordinate or against nature. Right?
Yeah, I want to break this down. Just a minute, Josh. Just a second.
Mm-hmm.
Watch this. And ye know that he was manifested to take away our sins. But in the church, it really says, and you don't know that he was manifested to take away your sins. Because you're taught the original sin.
Mm-hmm.
You can sin here all you want, and you'll be forgiven on the other side.
Mm-hmm.
I wouldn't believe that. You got to get right on this side of the equation.
So we're gonna keep reading, then we'll play a video.
Okay.
Then we'll come back with some more
And you know that he
precepts.
was manifested to take away our sins,
Mm-hmm.
and in him is no sin.
Uh-huh.
So if you say you're in him, you're not supposed to be sinning.
So exactly, read.
Whosoever abideth in him does not sin.
Does
Sinneth
not
not.
what?
Sins not.
Mm-hmm.
Whosoever abideth hath not, whosoever sinneth hath not seen him.
So basically,
You don't know him.
If you are being taught it's all right to break the laws of the Most High, you don't know him.
That's right. Little children, of whosoever sinneth hath not seen him, neither known him. You never knew him. Little children, let no man deceive you. That's in Matthew 24:4. He that doeth righteousness, the law, is righteous. Now, do you understand what a righteous person means? Who keeps the law. Even as he is righteous. He that committed sin is of the what?
Is of the devil.
Is of the angels.
Is of who?
Is of Christ.
Is of who?
Devil.
Is of the devil. Read.
For the devil sinned from the beginning.
Mm-hmm.
For this purpose, the Son of the Most High was manifested that he might destroy the works of the devil.
Mm-hmm.
Whosoever is born of Ahayah doth not commit sin. Now you want to break that down because that's pretty powerful, Josh.
It's plain.
Now what does born again mean? See,
Does not commit sin.
Right. But the Christian church was told, just ex Christ in your heart, Jesus, and you're born again. There's nowhere in Scripture for that, is there, Josh?
Mm-mm. I don't see that in the Bible.
So why, Pastor? Why are you telling your church? Just hold hands, feel his power. Just ask him in your heart, and you're born again. He that committed sin is of the devil, for the devil sinned from the beginning. For this purpose, the Son of the Most High was manifested, that he might destroy the works of the devil.
Absolutely. Read.
Whoso is born of Ahayah doth not commit sin,
Mm-hmm.
for his seed remaineth in him.
In other words, the Holy Spirit. Read.
And he cannot sin, because he is born of the Most High.
Uh-huh.
In this, the children of Ahayah are manifest. You can tell who they are. And the children of the devil. If that's true, then when we tell you you don't have to sin, and you're hearing something counterwise in your Christian church, they're lying to you.
Uh-huh. So now we're gonna share a video, then we'll come back with some more precepts. Share some information here. That's what we do. We bring facts. We don't deal with our opinions or our feelings. Right?
Right.
Again, there's another chart there. I'll save that. Okay, let's go to
Watchman. I like the Watchmen. Do you, Tony?
Yeah.
I think they're really good. I mean, we don't agree with the Watchman, the name he calls the Most High, and it's not his name, but we can learn some things from him because the brother is right on with a lot of his teachings. But see, there's that mixture even in the camps. And I'm not sure he's a camp, but, if you study the word right, you'll see his name is Ahayah and the son is Yashayah. And we got no problem believing what Brother Acaad teaches on that, GOCC. Well, we heard something very important from Brother Acaad 8 years ago. If you don't believe us, do your own research. And that's what we started doing. It's not that we didn't believe him, but he's right. When you hear something, you should research.
The key part of this lesson.
Hold on, everybody. I'm about to come right back to this. I just wanted to find. I just deleted.
Okay, so hang in there with us. We're just going to go to something here.
I'll come right back this.
I love your glasses. Are they new?
They sure are. Oh, I really want a new pair.
You can buy a new pair online right now.
So we have this. And I will go back to what we had on originally. So I had to leave that by accident.
Let's go into the judgment of their children. The Most High told Enoch what would happen to their children. Now, when the fallen angels understood, you can read this on your own, but when the fallen angels understood that the Most High would eventually judge them, they asked Enoch to petition. They petitioned Enoch to go before the Father to ask for mercy and entrance back into the heavenly realm. The Most High said no. He says, listen, how can they send you before me when I sent them to minister to you? I sent them to you. So how could they in turn use you to come to me? He says, no, he will not let them back in. A matter of fact, he's going to punish them and he's going to bound them in Hades. And their children, I'll tell you what's going to happen to their children. Now, this is the origin of demons or spirits. Before this, there were no such thing as demons. Okay, we all talk about demons and see how Christ cast out the spirits. We're going to talk about that in a moment. The influence they have, what they do, and how when someone is so-called possessed, we know the stories, but yet we don't know the origin of it. We see the Catholic Church always coming through. You notice the Catholic Church is in all these particular movies linked to these so-called demons, and you think they're casting them out, when really they're telling you, listen, they're together. They're all together.
That's right.
Christ wasn't performing exorcisms. Christ was casting demons out. Exorcism is an agreement with the spirit. Wow. Another demon agrees to go against that demon in that person, but eventually the higher demon can go in. So you think it's a miracle, but that person still can get it if they don't find Christ, if they don't find Yashayah. Exorcisms is an agreement between two spirits. Casting out spirits is getting rid of them all together. Those are the two differences. Okay? Now, let's go into the book of Enoch and show the judgment.
Enoch chapter 15, verse 1.
We're in Enoch 15 and 1. Read.
And he answered and said to me, and I heard his voice, fear not, Enoch, thou righteous man and scribe of righteousness. Approach hither and hear my voice, and go say to the watchers of heaven, who have sent thee to intercede for them. You should not intercede for men. Excuse me, you should intercede for men, and not men for you.
So you're not supposed to be sending men to me. You're supposed to be going to tell men what I say. But the angels were afraid, and they knew that Enoch was righteous, so they asked Enoch to petition the Most High for them. And see, that's another problem that the fallen spirits that control your government. Wow. That's another problem they have with the Most High's creation. Us, is that we get second chances, we get third chances, we get our whole life to come to the Most High, but they only have one to go against the Most High because they're made eternal. There's no excuse for them. They're made eternal. There's no business. They don't have no business having children. Why? Because we need children to continue after we're gone. Angels don't need that. They're eternal already. So let's see the judgment on their children. Read.
Wherefore have ye left the high, holy, and eternal heaven, and lain with women?
You laid with women.
And defiled yourselves with the daughters of men, and taken to yourselves wives, and done like the children of earth, and begotten giants as your sons. And though ye were holy, spiritual, living the eternal life, You have defiled yourselves with the blood of women,
So
and have
what are
begotten
the secrets
children
of Enoch?
with
Are
the
they
blood of
real?
flesh, as the children of men
Didn't
have
the Most High show
lusted
him the
after
consolation?
flesh and blood, as those also do who died and perish. Therefore have I given them wives also, that they might impregnate them and beget children by them, and thus nothing might be wanting to them on earth. But ye were formerly spiritual, living the eternal life, and immortal for all generations of the world.
That's Enoch, right?
And therefore I have not appointed wives for you.
Go ahead.
For as for the spiritual ones of the heaven, in heaven is their dwelling.
Go ahead.
And now the giants who are produced from the spirits and flesh.
Now the giants who were produced from the giants and flesh, read,
shall be called evil spirits upon the earth.
shall be called what?
Evil spirits upon the earth.
Shall be called evil spirits upon the earth. That's your origin of demons. That's where they come from. They were from the children of the fallen angels and the women. See that? So there's no other explanation for them. People talk about spirits, even those who claim that this didn't happen. But my question is, okay, if that didn't happen, then where do the demons come from?
That's right.
If this didn't
Had to
happen,
come from somewhere.
why are you preying on people and trying to cast out spirits? Where do those spirits come from? Here's the explanation. The Bible is telling you. Enoch is telling you. Read.
Evil spirits shall be, evil spirits have proceeded from their bodies.
What chapter and verse?
Enoch chapter 15, verse 8.
Go ahead.
And now the giants who are produced from the spirits and flesh shall be called evil spirits upon the earth.
They shall be called evil spirits upon
Those
the
are alcohol
earth.
spirits.
Go ahead.
And on the earth shall be their dwelling.
And this is where they will dwell. Go ahead.
Evil spirits have proceeded from their bodies, because they are born from men, and from the holy watchers is their beginning and primal origin.
Go ahead.
They shall be evil spirits on the earth, and evil spirits shall they be called. And as for the spirits of heaven, in heaven shall be their dwelling, and the spirits. But as for the spirits of the earth, which were born upon the earth, on earth shall be their dwelling. And the spirits of the giants afflict,
they afflict,
oppress,
destroy,
attack, do
battle,
and work destruction on the earth.
Now here's the key point here.
Against principalities.
These are all the things they do
Mm-hmm.
to keep trouble stirred. These are all the things they create in the earth to keep pain, to keep destruction happening. But here's their weakness. Enoch is going to tell you their weakness. And listen, this is why the Catholic Church don't want you to know this. Read it.
They take no food.
They take no food.
But nevertheless hunger.
But they hungry. Read.
And thirst.
And they thirst. So they're suffering. Ever since they fell, because they were insatiable. They're spirits that desire food and drink, but it's never satisfied. So what do? When you see a person gluttonous and they're obese, that's a spirit trying to fulfill that insatiable appetite.
Wow.
This is what they key point that would make them leave you alone and go someplace else. If you don't eat and drink, if you fast, if you go days without it, they'll try to find someone else. They will look for someone else.
I didn't get that spirit because I hardly eat.
That's one thing. They can't stay in a body that's fasting and praying. Why?
Wow.
Because you have no need for the flesh.
That's right.
You're killing your body.
Amen.
So as your body goes, they cannot do anything. They can't act out none of these actions. You're too weak to fight. You're too weak to curse someone out or fight against someone or try to go against someone. You're actually calm.
I tell you, that guy.
They can't use it.
Right?
So they had to create an environment, a society in which they can roam freely and just jump into anyone they want knowing that the majority of people have yielded themselves to the fallen ones. And the majority of people don't even believe Christ is real. The majority of people are so caught up into insatiable appetites, McDonald's and all these things that they have. That's why they set up a system like that. So that they don't have hosts.
That's true.
So that they don't have free hosts every place.
Wow.
It says they hunger and they thirst. That's the power of fasting. That's the power of fasting, because these spirits need us to operate their actions. Right? Read.
And cause offenses.
They cause offenses. Read.
And these spirits shall rise up against the children of men.
And it says they shall rise up against the children of men.
And against the woman, because they have proceeded from them.
Because they proceeded from them. So they're going to be used to attack us. We have to pray to the Most High to be delivered from them, because they will be in this earth until Christ comes to take them out. Speaking of that, an example of that, let's go to Matthew 8 and 29.
Okay, everybody.
This was really good, Josh.
What I wanted to do now, go to I want to show them a demon. Let's show them let's go to Wisdom of Solomon 14.
Wisdom of Solomon 14.
About Cesar Bashir.
Okay.
I want to show them.
Wisdom of Solomon 14. And what? What verse, Josh? The beginning?
8.
8?
Uh-huh.
Okay. All right, we're going to go to the Apocrypha, a great book, matches up with all the 66 books and all the missing books of the Bible. Again, Josh.
Put this one out here for everybody too.
Wisdom of Solomon,
so we
chapter 14,
have
verse
an
8.
idea.
You want 8, Josh? Chapter 8,
Uh-huh.
verse 8. The Most High will punish idols and idol worshippers. That means idolatry. But that which is made with hands is cursed, as well it as he that made it.
So the thing that is cursed is this image right here.
Come on.
That my mouse pointer is at.
Make it large, type you can.
Who made it?
A pope.
Pope Alexander VI.
That's right.
Read.
He, because he made it, and it, because being corruptible, it was called God.
Uh-huh.
For the ungodly and his ungodliness.
Specifically referring to the Renaissance artists. Read.
Are both alike hateful unto God.
Because the Bible said not to make images.
Come on. Verse 10. For that which is made shall be punished together with him that made it.
Uh-huh.
Therefore, even upon the idols of the Gentiles shall there be a visitation.
Uh-huh.
Because in the creature of Ahayah, they are become an abomination.
Because since everything has come out of the Roman Catholic Church, everything else around it has become an abomination to the Most High.
And stumbling blocks to the souls of men.
So what is the stumbling block? This image that I'm pointing at.
That's right.
And that image right there.
Tell him, Josh, that's who you're worshiping on Sunday.
Read.
Whether you want to believe it or not. And forget about him knowing your heart. The devil knows your mind too. And stumbling blocks to the souls of men. And a snare to the feet of the unwise.
So that image is a snare to the unwise.
Your feet are captured in a snare when you go into those Christian temples.
Read.
For the devising of the idols was the beginning of spiritual fornication.
Read.
And the invention of them, the corruption of life. For neither were they from the beginning, neither shall they be forever. For by the vainglory of men they entered into the world, and therefore shall they come shortly to an end. And the end is here. We don't have much time, folks. For a father
Okay, for a father,
afflicted,
the father, says Rodrigo Boger,
mhm,
Alexander VI, read.
afflicted with untimely mourning, when he had made an
Stop.
image
When he made an image of this, says Boger right here.
of his child, soon taken away.
Okay, soon, in other words, says
He
Caesar
died.
Boger died, read.
Now honor him as a god.
That's the God that the Catholic Church made right here.
Come on.
See, I like this flyer because it puts everything together. So when we read this, we can point everything out as that. See, so Boger, Rodrigo Boger, told the artists to make an image of his son. That image now is honored as God. Why? Because everyone believes that that Jesus and God are white.
That's right. Which was then a dead man, and delivered to those that were under him ceremonies and sacrifices, the Roman Catholic Church. Thus, in process of time and ungodly customs.
What's the ungodly customs? All the pagan practices,
Holidays.
all the pagan holidays.
That's right.
Came along with this image.
Grown strong was kept as a law.
Read.
And graven images were worshipped by the commandments of kings.
Continue, Dad.
Whom men could not honor in presence.
Why? Because he's dead. And what basically, I'm gonna let my dad finish the verse.
Okay.
But basically, they made copies of the painting, right?
That's right.
And they took it all over the earth. The
And
Catholic
they
Church.
hired the painters to do
Right.
all that's
Continue.
right.
Finish the verse.
Because they dwelt far off, they took the counterfeit of his vistage from far and made an express image of a king whom they honored, to the end that by this their frowardness they might flatter him that was absent as if he were present.
So,
we can stop early. That's good. Okay. Want to keep going?
I want to show you all something here. Another little clip. Again, print out all the go to the website GOCC.
Pass them out, guys.
All this stuff is free. All you gotta do is have some ink, and you can print it out, make copies, and
let me say something. Listen how serious this is. If you know people in these Christian churches, these temples, these devil temples, the more you wait and don't do what we ask you to do, it doesn't cost you nothing to print them out. You'll be part of destroying some of these people that are there. At least you can get them in their hands and then let them make a choice. Let them come to the Valley of Jehoshaphat.
Decision time.
And decision time is here, my friends.
So, I'll minimize this. I'll show them. I want to show you guys something here. A little.
Okay, the truth will be exposed today. Okay, let's take a look at this image right here. The image that you're seeing is, this image is actually Yashayah Borgia. He was born in Rome during the year of 1476 of September. He died on March.
Leave it. Let them hear this, because this is what we're reading.
During the year of
So about what we're reading is what he's explaining.
The image of Yashayah Christ has been manipulated throughout history. But the truth be told, that the Caucasian pictures that you see today, such as your Caucasian Christ,
it's not him.
The European pictures of Christ is actually Yashayah Borgia.
That's right.
And we're going to bring this out today. We're going to expose this lie that has been going on throughout history. Yashayah Borgia.
Remember, we're not the only ones that know this truth.
Of Pope Alexander VI. In fact,
now you're hearing it
the Pope's
from another
most
person.
loved and legitimate son. And at one time, papacy members were allowed to marry. Pope Alexander VI was known for having multiple mistresses. And in 1476, he bore a son named Yashayah Borgia. Yashayah was Alexander's favorite son, and by the age of 15 had already became the Bishop of Pamplona. By his 18th birthday, he was a cardinal. Borgia also had an older brother named Giovanni, who was Captain General of the papacy military forces. Yashayah envied his brother's position. He envied it so much that he had his own brother assassinated in order to obtain the office.
Just like the mafia.
Yashayah Borgia
Giovanni
resigned his position as cardinal and became captain general of the papacy military. And during this time, the Catholic Church was waging war on Islam, and Yashayah was about to play a vital role in the history of the church. And at the time, the Muslims had successfully made their way to Germany and taken control of Turkey. This threatened the church's stronghold over the empire. And there,
listen to all this. This is very important history. This is why we're here. We're here to not only bring the Bible, but historical information.
Let me say something too.
Factual.
Hold on, wait. And this is no joke. This is true. This is what you're doing, Christian, on Sunday, whether you want to believe it or not. Never mind, he knows your heart. Satan knows your heart too. No mind, he knows your mind.
Let me make this bigger.
During that same period, the image of Christ was that of a Muslim, and the church was having a hard time selling its ideologies in the region. Some say they devised a plan to correct this issue and use Yashayah Borgia as its tool. Consequently, some historians say that the Pope came up with a plan to have every painting of the original Messiah destroyed. Next, Alexander
and who did he hire, Josh?
Commissioned Leonardo da Vinci to reinvent Christ in the image of his own.
Had to change the black image.
Yashayah Borgia. Okay, let me give you a little more information on this guy. Between the year of 1502 and 1503, he employed Leonardo da Vinci. Pretty sure y'all have heard of him. He employed Leonardo da Vinci as a military architect and engineer. Leonardo da Vinci and Yashayah Borgia became intimate. They were lovers.
Wow.
They had passion for each other. So you can see that Yashayah Borgia and Leonardo da Vinci was kicking it together. They were sleeping together as well, and they was having sexual intercourse together. So this image of Caesar Borgia,
wow,
who is documented to be a homosexual,
come on,
not only a homosexual,
tell him
but also a murderer,
a murder.
because he killed his older brother Giovanni to obtain papacy of the military forces.
That's your Christ on Sunday.
He killed him as well. So this would make him a homosexual. This will also make him a murderer because he assassinated his brother Giovanni to obtain Captain General of the papacy military forces. Not to mention that he committed incest with his own sister, among his father committed the same act against his own daughter. So the face of this man was painted by Leonardo da Vinci, because you must remember he was also an artist. Now, you may heard about this thing called the Renaissance period, and Renaissance actually means rebirth. So during the Renaissance period, Rodrigo Borgia, which is Alexander VI, the Pope of Rome, had Leonardo da Vinci and Michelangelo to compete in an art contest to see who can draw his most and beloved legitimate son the best. And Leonardo da Vinci won the art contest. So Leonardo da Vinci and Caesar Borgia, let's not forget that they were lovers. So to express his love for Caesar Borgia, Leonardo, he painted many pictures of him to express his love for Caesar. And these are your so-called pictures today of Christ. These pictures will soon be put up in the Western world, the new world, which is the USA.
That's right.
So this is how this thing formulated.
Wow.
So there you have it.
American Indians with
The modern image of Yashayah Christ is actually Caesar Borgia. And this lie have been perpetrated for years, that Christ
centuries
was Caucasian, that he was European, when Christ actually came from the loins of Judah.
That's right.
Which Judah came from Jacob.
That's Christ.
Christ was a black man.
Come on.
Christ was not Caucasian.
Oh, it don't matter.
So this is how you get this image in the Western world today. It was by Alexander VI who did this trickery and treachery by putting his most beloved son up as Christ, as a disguise of Christ. I'm going to explain why the Bible we read today, such as the King James, has 66 books. I'm going to explain. Let's not forget that the first Bible to come into the New World was the King James 1611 edition. I want to say 19 or 20 years later, the King James Version came. So the first Bible to ever arrive in America in modern day English was the King James 1611. Now, this book has a total of 80 something books, because it also has the 14 books inside of it.
Can we get that, Tony?
Which is called the Apocrypha, the lost books.
Can we
so
find
the
it,
King
Tony?
James 1611 edition has all the 66 books plus the 14 books, which is the Apocrypha. But the King James Version that came 19 to 20 years later after the 1611 edition only has 66 books. So let's break this down. What happened to the total of 14 books? Let me tell you the truth. Because the Roman Catholic Church removed 14 books from the King James 1611 edition during the year of 1928. They took out 14 books from the King James 1611, leaving us with only a total of 66 books in the King James. So why would you have to remove books from the original edition?
Come on.
Well, let me tell you the truth about this. Okay, let's see why these books were taken out the original King James 1611 edition. If you would notice, out of the 14 books of the Apocrypha, one book is called The Wisdom of Solomon. And Solomon wrote this book. It is called The Wisdom of Solomon, which are one of the 14 books that they took out. And it mentions about Caesar Borgia hundreds of years before they even thought about, well, I want to say probably thousands of years before they even thought about doing this. The Wisdom of Solomon, which is in your Apocrypha.
So the Apocrypha is dated to 300 BC.
Now you understand how old those real books are, and they are the Bible. Don't let your pastors in your churches tell you that they're not inspiration, they're not inspired, they're lying to you. Because all the truth of the Bible
the
is
Roman
in there
Catholic Church
about what they did.
And this can be found in the Wisdom of Solomon in the Apocrypha, chapter 14, beginning with the 15th verse. And you might want to read from the 15th verse and stop on the 21st verse. I'm going to only read verses 14 and 15 and verse 20 out of chapter 14 of the Wisdom of Solomon, so that you can see clearly why this was done. Verse 14, for by the vainglory of men they enter into the world, and therefore shall they come shortly to an end. Verse 15, for a father afflicted with untimely mourning, when he had made an image of his child, soon taken away, now honored him as a god, which was then a dead man, and delivered to those that were under him ceremonies and sacrifices. Verse 20, and so the multitude, allured by the grace of the work, took him now for a god, which a little before was but honored as a man. Now, let me break down this. In verse 15, when you see that it says, for a father afflicted with untimely mourning, that is Rodrigo Borgia. Okay, it says, when he had made an image of his child, soon taken away, now honored him as a god, which was then a dead man. When it says that, an image of his child, that's in reference of his son, Caesar Borgia.
So you know Satan's blessing the Christian church.
Put up to be Christ,
the Most High,
which is how they honored him as a god, though he was a dead man in Rome. Because let's not forget that Caesar Borgia died in the year of 1507 on March 12th.
All flesh.
So they used this false image of Caesar Borgia as Christ. They brought forth a false teaching and ceremony and sacrifices, all along with this image, to deceive the people to believe these things, to deceive the Western world into believing that Christ was Caucasian himself, when he really was a black man from the tribe of Judah. Shalom.
Shalom, brother. Well, I hope you got something out of this, but I'll tell you, it's demonic in these temples on Sunday. You better be careful where you're going, my friend. Because the more you stay in them, right, Tony, the more you get poisoned. The longer you stay, the more you're poisoned.
What more?
You got to come out of spiritual Babylon. The Christian church is spiritual Babylon. You Come and join us. I told you where we are.
This is a painting of Cesare Borgia,
Let us
the
teach
man
you
who
right.
influenced all European paintings, sculptures, and carvings of Yashayah. Many scholars believe the image of
There's another
Yashayah has
person
been
that knows the
manipulated, skewed, and outright fabricated throughout history.
This
This
is a
article
shorter
will
video, so I'll
address
just let it
such
all
an
play
issue.
out, then we'll close.
Yeah, let
Cesare Borgia was the son of Pope
good to know there's
Alexander
other
VI.
people that know this. There's
In fact,
millions of us that
He
know
was the
this, not
Pope's
just
most
us.
loved and
And this
illegitimate
lady and the
son.
other brother.
At one time, papacy members were
So how can we
allowed
be
to
wrong,
marry.
all of us?
Pope Alexander VI was known for having multiple mistresses, and in 1476 bore a son named Cesare Borgia. Cesare was the favorite son, and by the age of 15, he had already become the Bishop of Pamplona. By his 18th birthday, he had become the Cardinal. Borgia had an older brother named Giovanni, who was Captain General of the papacy military forces. Cesare envied his brother's position, and many scholars believe he envied it so much that he had his own brother assassinated in order to obtain the office. Other records show the brothers slept with the same mistress, the wife of their younger brother Goffredo. Many believe the inflamed love triangle between the brothers and their so-called mistresses is what led to young Giovanni's demise. Following the Giovanni's
There's a
assassination,
Christianity, always
Cesare
murder.
Borgia resigned his position as cardinal and became captain general of the papacy military.
And that
During
spirit
this
still in
time,
that church.
the Catholic Church was waging war on Islam, and Cesare was about to play a vital role in the history of the church. At the time, the Muslims had successfully made their way to Germany and taken control of Turkey. This threatened the church as stronghold
So we
over the
good to
empire.
Oh,
During
read
the
yeah.
same
history.
period, the image of Yashayah was that of the
Don't forget, we
Muslim,
got
and the
11 new
church
viewers,
was
guys.
having a hard time
You know,
selling
they
its
don't know this.
ideologies in the region.
All right.
Some
Thank
say
you.
they devised a
We got
plan
a
to
lot.
correct this issue and used Cesare Borgia as its tool. Consequently, the Pope
Now
came
go
out
ahead and
with a
tell us
plan
that
to
we're
have
lying to you.
every painting of the original Messiah destroyed.
Remember, there was
Next,
only 12 disciples, and
Alexander
they had
VI
the
commissioned
truth in the world,
Leonardo
like we have
da
the truth
Vinci
in
to
the world.
reinvent Yashayah in the image of his own beloved son.
Don't say
Cesare
1,000
Borgia
words.
between 1502 and 1503, he employed Leonardo da Vinci as a military architect and engineer, in which him and Leonardo da Vinci became intimate instantaneously. They were lovers. To express his love towards Cesare, Leonardo painted many pictures of him. Cesare's father, Rodrigo Borgia, who later became
Blasphemy.
Pope
That's right.
Alexander VI, under the authority of the Catholic Church elite, had his son picture put up as Yashayah Christ in the Western world. Cesare had sex with his own sister Lucrezia, and he killed his brother Giovanni in 1497. And this is the man whom the Catholic Church gave their consent
Yes,
to
that's what we
allowing
follow,
his
too.
picture to be put up and portrayed
You
as
see who you're
Yashayah
worshiping now on
Christ, to
Sunday?
deceive the whole world to think Christ was
You don't want to believe
European.
it?
See, what most people
Keep going.
don't know is there was a competition during the time called the Renaissance period between Leonardo da Vinci and the
Revival or
well-known
rebirth.
Michelangelo. The competition was to see who could impress the king by making the nude image of the king's son that would deceive the world, in which Leonardo da Vinci had won the competition. The original King James Bible of 1611 had the Apocrypha in it, but in 1928, under the Vatican, they made an agreement to take 14 books out of the King James Holy Bible.
Look at that.
Why, you might ask? Well, because thousands of years before they put this image up to be Christ, they found out that it was written in the wisdom of Solomon located in the Apocrypha, that they would do this and the reason for it.
Hey, honey.
So knowing this was written in the wisdom
Wake
of
up is
Solomon,
right.
the Roman Catholic Church took it out of the Bible so that people wouldn't figure out their
I like
deception.
that Babylon 4. Go back. I want to see what she said on the bottom there. Go back, Josh.
So
That was good. That was real good. So we could go on all night. Smell it, ping, Josh. We could go on all night and show you more and more and more people who know the truth now. And it's spreading like wildfire across the world, the flat earth. So you better get ready. You better get ready.
So, as we clearly saw tonight, through evidence, through facts and history, how we've gotten from the true image of Christ in the Bible to what we have now, a whitewashed European religion.
That's right.
Why? Because, as we've learned, the Catholic Church could not go into certain parts of the earth and supremacy it under them because they knew that Christ wasn't black, wasn't a white man.
That's right.
Because all the images in the East, in Africa, and in what they call the Middle East now, they had the true image of Christ. So they had to license artists to go in and repaint the image of Christ to look like, to look European like them, so they could subjugate the earth underneath a Eurocentric ideology of religion. So they licensed Leonardo and Michelangelo to paint a known homosexual. That's why all the images of Christ look like he's a homo, because he was. They look like he's effeminate because he was.
Yeah, that's right. Our Christ that we believe, the Black Christ, was a stout, strong, big man, but he was meek in spirit.
Mm-hmm.
He didn't look like a femme.
Mm-hmm. So, relearn your history. Keep learning.
Keep tuning in.
We just relearned some good history just now.
Tell them where we are again, Josh. We're at 5291 Orange Park North, Trailer Park. At the office, there's a room, a big room we have every Sunday, 4 hours, 2 hours, 12 to 2.
So
please join us.
With that said, we say shalom.